Hi everyone. In this video lecture, we will have an overview of the peripheral nervous system, which is mainly composed by peripheral nerves and also by ganglia. So this system connects the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord to the upper limbs and also lower limbs. We also have the presence of ganglia, those little structures that are present here next to the spinal cord. This system, so basically is composed by nerves and ganglia. Okay, so those are the constituents of the peripheral nervous system. And the big difference when comparing the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system is that the central nervous system, we have some layers that cover and protect the brain and the spinal cord. So we have the meninges, we have the bones in the skull bones, we have the vertebrae. So those structures kind of protect the integrity of the brain and the spinal cord. On the other hand, the peripheral nervous system is not protected by those structures. So this makes the peripheral nervous system somehow more exposed to injuries like trauma or even injury to toxins, for example. So the peripheral nervous system can be more susceptible to injuries. This system is then is divided according to the function. Okay, so this is the functional division. So we have the autonomic nervous system. So the autonomic nervous system has both sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers, as you see here. Those fibers, they differ according to their anatomic, according to their length, to the length of their fibers. As you see here, for example, this is the spinal cord, okay, in green, and those round structures here are ganglia, okay. So mostly we see ganglia in the sympathetic nerve fibers. And what can I tell you about this picture also? You see this nerve here, this little branch, this is called pre-ganglionic sympathetic fibers, okay? And this is post-ganglionic. So in the sympathetic nervous system, these fibers are shorter than in the parasympathetic system. So this makes, we can conclude that as these fibers are shorter, their impulses are conducted faster than in the parasympathetic system. So this is like a slower system compared to the sympathetic system, okay, because of the length of these fibers. So this is longer, okay, to reach the target organ. The target organs here are mainly viscera, okay. So we have different viscera that can be targeted by both sympathetic and parasympathetic system, including viscera in the immune system, the respiratory system, digestive system, the cardiovascular system as well, okay, the reproductive system. So basically all viscera, they are innervated by autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system mainly innervates the muscles, okay, that are the effector organs. So those are effectors, and they control voluntary movements. And finally, the enteric nervous system is more related with the activities of the digestive system, okay, that we'll see further in details. First of all, autonomic nervous system. It consists of both sensory and motor neurons, controls involuntary responses to regulate physiological functions, diverse physiological functions according to the target organ or the target viscera that will be innervated. These fibers are connected to the viscera and organs with smooth muscle, therefore involuntary response, okay, because this is smooth muscle activity. And the motor part of the autonomic nervous system consists of two branches. So sympathetic and parasympathetic division are basically parts of the motor autonomic nervous system, okay? So anatomically speaking, the sympathetic nervous system consists of fibers that emerge from T1 to L2. So this is the second lumbar segment. Okay, so from T1 to L2, we have the sympathetic division. So those sympathetic organs, they will eventually cross here the ganglia. Okay, as you see here in yellow, those are ganglia. And from here, they will transmit the signals to different organs or different viscera. Okay, and you see those responses in the sympathetic nervous system that are activated during a fight or flight response. Okay, and the main transmitters that conduct these stimuli are epinephrine and norepinephrine, or adrenaline and noradrenaline is the same, okay? The sympathetic nervous system is different according to the anatomical location, okay? So the parasympathetic, we can find the origin of this parasympathetic fibers in the brainstem nuclei and some cranial nerves. Okay, so despite the nerves, cranial nerves, are located in the brain, next to the central nervous system, actually it's not part of the central nervous system. The cranial nerves are considered part of the peripheral nervous system. We have also some parasympathetic fibers in these pelvic splenic efferent nerves that we see here in the sacral segments S2 to S4. And you see here these different viscera that can be innervated by different segments of the parasympathetic nervous system. And those here are the responses of the parasympathetic nervous system, which are opposite responses than the sympathetic system. Okay, so the parasympathetic is basically allows the body to rest and digest. So those are more like slow responses, and the main neurotransmitter is acetylcholine in case of the parasympathetic transmission. The enteric nervous system is quite a complex nervous system. Depending on the bibliography, this can be considered like a whole new subject, because this is considered like the brain located in the gut. Okay, so in our gut, we have like a different brain that is somehow specialized, and the functions of this enteric nervous system are considered more independently, okay, independent. We basically have two different plexuses in the enteric nervous system, okay. The first one that you see here is the myenteric plexus, or Auerbach plexus, Okay, this plexus innervates, as you see here, the smooth muscle. Okay, you see here both the inner circular layer and the outer longitudinal layer in the in the in the digestive system. Okay, so here the our back or my enteric plexus. It's easy to remember because my enteric comes from muscle. So this is innervating the smooth muscles. Okay. Whereas the Meissner plexus or submucosal plexus innervates here the submucosa, okay, and is more related with the activity of the glands, okay, the secretion of these glands in the digestive system, okay. So this here related to secretion of the glands, and this here related to involuntary contraction and movement of peristalsis in the digestive system. The somatic nervous system is responsible for somesthesia and muscle voluntary control. What is somesthesia? Somesthesia is the perception that we have for touch, okay, and also proprioception. So this system is voluntary, okay, voluntary contraction. It consists of sensory afferent neurons and also motor or efferent neurons, nerves. And it's responsible for different activities, okay, related to muscles or senses. The somatic nervous system is divided like in spinal nerves. We have 31 segments that come in and out the spinal cord according to the segments in our vertebra, okay, from the first cervical vertebra to the last coccygeal vertebra. And we also have 12 segments that come in and out the brain stem, okay, and those are classified as cranial nerves. The spinal nerves. So the spinal nerves, they connect the central nervous system to sensory receptors, muscles, and glands. Okay, so glands could be glands in our skin, for example. Okay, and also this system that you see here that consists of 31 pairs of nerves, okay? So spinal nerves, because they come in and out from the spine, okay? From the C1. So in the cervical area, we have 8 pairs, okay? So from C1 to C8, okay? C8 comes right between vertebra C7 and vertebra T1, okay? And then we have the thoracic nerves, okay? In this thoracic segment. From the thoracic nerves, so this originates the intercostal nerves that will provide innervation to the thoracic muscles. We have the lumbar nerves from L1 to L5, the sacral segments, and 1 pair of coccygeal nerves. Okay. So this is how they are named according to their segment, their numbering in the spinal cord. When we take a look in a section of a spinal nerve, what do we see in this transverse section? So we have some coverings, okay, covering the spinal nerve. So we have individual axons that you see here. A spinal nerve overall is a bunch of many axons, okay? Both myelinated and unmyelinated axons. They are wrapped in a layer, okay, which is called endoneurium. Okay, so one axon is covered by endoneurium that you see here. Then we have groups of axons. So this is a group of axons with their endoneurium. They are arranged in bundles called fascicles, each of which is wrapped in a perineuron, as you see here. So a perineuron will cover a group of axons and their corresponding endoneurions. And finally, the most superficial covering of the entire nerve is the epineuron. Okay, so this is the covering that covers many different fascicles, many different fascicles, and also covers blood vessels that will provide nourishing for these nerves. When we take a look also in these coverings, we have the meninges here, right? Because this is the spinal cord, okay? And we have meninges covering the spinal cord. I want to call your attention that the dura mater, the most external meninge, will cover it will exit here at the level of the intervertebral foramen here. So the dura mater will cover it will fuse, so the dura mater of the spinal meninges fuses with the epineuron of a spinal nerve when it passes through the intervertebral foramen. So this is here, despite this is considered peripheral nervous system, this little part here is also protected by dura mater, okay, by the meninges. And finally, this is the distribution of spinal nerves in plexuses. So we have cervical plexus, okay, here from nerves in the cervical area, okay. So in the cervical area, we have cervical plexus and also brachial plexus. The brachial plexus will provide innervation to the muscles of the upper limbs, and the cervical plexus will provide innervation to the muscles of the neck and head. The thoracic nerves, they don't have a plexus, okay? A plexus, by definition, is a group of nerves that they will innervate a specific area, okay? So the thoracic nerves, they do not make a plexus as the cervical nerves do. When you go down to the lumbar area, we have lumbar plexus, okay, and sacral plexus. So those plexuses here will provide innervation to the lower limbs and also to the pelvic muscles. And the same is here in this little nerve here, which is the coccygeal nerve. The coccygeal nerve is not part of the plexus. It's a single pair of nerves, okay, which is the last one here. And anatomically, also here we have the cauda, okay, which is this final branch of the spinal nerves, this spinal roots below L2. Okay, so the cauda equina is not protected by the vertebrae. Okay, so this is like the extension of the lumbar nerves. Okay, so that's it for now. The anatomical division and the anatomic functions of the peripheral nervous system. Thanks for watching. See you.